Welcome into the Lobo basketball postgame show. New Mexico is a winner. Final score, UNM 80, Mississippi State 78. We're back live inside the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. The postgame show is brought to you by the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino. Winning entertainment, including simulcast racing, live music, dining, the best games, and more. That's the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino. Lobos a winner. Final score 80-78. Alongside broadcast partner Hunter Green, I'm Robert Portnoy. New Mexico gets an unbelievable performance from Tomislav Bojan. 19 points, 21 rebounds for Bojan. That is a brand new freshman record, breaking the mark of none other than a legendary Lobo, Kenny Thomas, who had 17 in his first season as a Lobo. New Mexico, with the victory, improves its record to 4-2. We'll talk with Lobo head man Eric Olin post-game, but first, as the winning team tonight, he gets to go to the podium right away. So he is addressing the media here inside the T-Mobile Center. Hunter, fantastic finish to this basketball game, an excellent end-game execution for UNM, and I am all about the late foul, preventing the three-point shot that can tie you. And for me, the number is about 6 or 7 seconds, because if it gets under that number and then you give the foul, I feel like it leaves very little time for the other team on the backside of the additional free throws. If you do it any earlier than that, then the game can get extended multiple possessions. But I love the strategy there at the end of the game.
I did too. I mean, I think, as you mentioned, the execution here at the end of the game, you know, the strategy to foul and not allow Mississippi State to shoot a three, and then, of course, anticipating them missing that second free throw, and just being prepared and executing at the end of the game, closing it out.
Some of the final totals here post-game from the T-Mobile Center. New Mexico wins it 80-78. The Lobos for the game shoot 41% from the floor, 26 out of 63, and 33% from the arc, 9 of 27. Mississippi State, 46% floor, 31 of 68, 9 of 29 arc, 31%. UNM, 76% as a team from the foul line, 19 of 25. And Mississippi State, 7 out of 13, 54%. So many different things you can look at in a basketball game, right, Hunter? And UNM did something that it wasn't expected that they would do tonight, and that's win the rebounding battle. 46-36 and 13-8 on the offensive end. But how about outscoring Mississippi State by a dozen at the foul line? In a game you win by 2, that's massive. And that's my concern was, where are they going to find these points, the scoring, and they were able to do it at the free throw line. Points off turnovers, 12-10 Mississippi State. The Lobos didn't really turn over State. In fact, they only were able to create 7 turnovers. Lobos turned it over just 10 times themselves. Paint points, Mississippi State 36-32 advantage. Second chance goes to UNM 13-10, and fast break, Lobos 8-4. Bench points for the Lobos 24-20, and that huge advantage at the foul line, 19-7 at the charity stripe. And when you have 2 players go off the way they did, Josh Hubbard for 29 and Jaden Epps for 21, UNM is able to counter that with great balance, partner. 4 men in double figures. Bojan, team high 19, 13 apiece for Albury, Antoinette, and 12 for Chol, as the Lobos get a fabulous neutral court win in their MTE over SEC Mississippi State. This is one you can hang your hat on. This is a team that the last 3 years won 21 or more and went to the big dance.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things here. I mean, you're on the road. You got back-to-back games, and you're going down to the wire, executing and finishing with a freshman to net at the free throw line. I mean, there are some takeaways from this game that's going to help New Mexico as they enter into conference play.
Let's take our first timeout post-game from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. We'll hear from Lobo head coach Eric Olin shortly. Final score. Stay with us. Lobos 80, Mississippi State 78. The post-game show continues on the other side of the UNM Sports Radio Network. inside the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. The Lobos win the consolation game of the Hall of Fame Classic by the final score of 80-78. With my broadcast partner, Hunter Green, I'm Robert Portnoy. We are privileged to welcome in Lobo forward/guard Antonio Chol. Congratulations on a huge win, man. How's it feel?
It feels good. You know, we came into this tournament. It feels good, man. Just came into this tournament trying to win. Obviously, we had to bounce back from yesterday, but I'm really happy with our response, especially as a team. And, you know, it was a close game late, and we pulled it off, so I'm just happy at that.
We saw your hand maybe get pinned there on a screen at the top of the key, maybe your thumb, or how you doing?
I'm fine. Just, it was a little tweak. It's a little swollen, but I'll be fine. No tendon issues, no nothing. Just a slight muscle. So I'll just put in some ice and it'll go down. So I'm very, very happy with that.
Well, you got off to a good start in the first half. You had 12 points early on. You know, you were able to find your shot and get some good looks. In fact, there was one time where you rolled to the basket. Do you try to get the ball going to the basket sometimes? I know you can create your own three.
Yeah.
But you seem so effective as you roll to the basket. If your teammates find you, you can finish.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable with that. Just, you know, sometimes just being at the right spot at the right time, you know, or just cutting. We have a lot of good passers on our team. So I think that those few layups that I got actually got me going in rhythm, especially from the three-point line, you know, to see some go in early, it really helps from outside.
Tomislav Bojan was an absolute beast here tonight. Talk about his play and what he's meant to your team here through the first few games of the season. You guys are now 4-2 on the year.
He had 21, yeah.
Honestly, what I call it, he's a monster. You know what I mean? Especially on that glass. He's very hard to stop. He's relentless. He keeps going, you know, and then he's seen some going late. You know, he stepped out, hit a three that was very big for us. So I think that his whole game in general really impacts our team at a big level. Like, it's very important. So.
What are your thoughts about how the game ended? You guys were able to close it out. Talk a little bit about what Coach had drawn up in the huddle. I mean, you guys anticipated them. Well, first of all, Tanette, the play of the freshman, hitting huge free throws at the end of the game. That was huge, right?
Yeah. We just talked about that. Yeah. We were like, you had some big free throws. You know what I mean? Especially for us to go up 2 points. But I think the way we closed it out was great. Coach was just telling us to take care of the basketball, obviously, and get them to foul, you know? So we fouled them, and it was only, I think, 3.8 seconds left. And, you know, that really helped us because they missed the second one. We got the tap out, and we ran it out. So,
and you guys anticipated them missing the second one on purpose, right?
Exactly. Because that's the only chance they really had. So I think, you know, Coach's game plan really helped us. But I think as a team, you know, we really wanted to win, especially after we lost the other night.
I wanted to ask you about yesterday because you guys really got punched in the mouth in the first half and got down by 20. It was 18 points at the break. What did Coach talk about in the locker room at halftime yesterday? Because you guys came out absolutely with your hair on fire and got within 4 there in the second half against Nebraska.
He just went in there and really just told us, do we want it? You know what I mean? Like, if you guys don't really want it,
challenged
you know,
yeah,
he challenged us. And I think as a team, we came together like, nah, we really want to win this game as a team, you know. We really didn't want to go out like that, you know, blow out, looking like we're not ready to play. So we came out second half with a chip on our shoulder. But I think that first half still hindered us in a way. If we would have started like that from the beginning, it would have really helped. But
you started better today. Was that something that you guys talked about going into this game? Because you started a little slowly against New Mexico State last weekend, and then obviously you started slowly yesterday against Nebraska.
We didn't really talk about it much. I think it was just more of a hunger thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as a team, we're like, yo, we're not going out like that no more. Some things don't have to be talked about. You know, as a team, we're just like, you know what? We got to come out better as a group. So.
You're one of the veteran guys on this team, and there are a lot of young guys and guys that haven't played a lot of Division I college basketball that are contributing big time, including some true freshmen. How have you helped them along? It's been so much fun to see the success of players like Uriah Tanette and Jake Hall.
Honestly, you know, they're very talented already. You know what I mean? So we just try to give them confidence and pointers, especially because, you know, everybody else on the roster kind of played, you know, other than them and a few other freshmen. especially even Tomislav, he's played pro before. So, we all just try to tell them the ins and outs of college. Maybe even things about the ref. Get cool with the ref, might get a free call or, thing along them lines. But I think their talent takes over at times, and we don't really have to tell them. They kind of just go with the flow.
Well, I tell you what, I think you're a big part of this offense. And when you're able to score inside as well as outside, because I think you can get a shot anytime you want on the outside. Mm-hmm. But when you're active and cutting to the basket, man, you're just hard to guard.
I agree, and I think that even myself, I've noticed that, just getting some few baskets, cutting, because the shot's going to come. I could shoot anytime, but getting them baskets to the rim, it really hurts the other team. Because, twos are a high percentage shot,
And the scout's going to say, the scouting report says, close out on them on a three. There was a time here where you gave a head fake, and you were going to try him at the rim.
Yeah, but he swiped it.
He mentioned, he swept it away from you. But I like when you're aggressive like that.
Yeah.
That helps the team.
I think that maybe we put you in a box a little bit too as a scorer, because you do a lot more, and I've seen you defend well both on ball and off ball, and I know you take a lot of pride in your rebounding too. 2 offensive rebounds here tonight.
Yeah. Honestly, to start the year, I wasn't rebounding too great, and I told myself, you got to do better of that. It'll really help your team, especially when 2 of the me and Tom down there, when we're rebounding, it really helps the guards. They don't really have to come down there. We can get faster in transition, but rebounding is a big focal point. And obviously, I got Tomislav to learn from, the greatest rebounder. So
he is a beast. There's no doubt. Hey, congratulations. That was a huge win. Enjoy this one, and we look forward to seeing you back in Albuquerque.
All right, appreciate it.
Good job, Joel.
Mm-hmm. Antonio Joel, our guest here post-game in Kansas City. We take time out. We come back with more from the Hall of Fame Classic. The Lobos win the consolation game 80-78 over Mississippi State on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Back to close out your Lobo basketball post-game show presented by Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino, winning entertainment including simulcast racing, live music, dining the best games, and more. That's the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino. We're joined courtside inside the T-Mobile Center, where the Lobos have knocked off Mississippi State 80-78. by Lobo head coach Eric Olin. First off, Coach, congratulations. What a terrific win for your team. So resilient. They showed it in the second half yesterday, and they show it today, bouncing back from the opening loss to Nebraska. What did you like most about your team's performance here tonight?
I thought we showed a lot of toughness. We felt like we left some plays on the board in the first half and had the opportunity to really take control of the game in the first half, and they didn't, or we didn't, and they made a few plays to stay right there with us. So, I think that can be a little deflating when that happens, and I'm just really pleased with our guys' poise in that and just continuing to play. Same thing as the game went on in the second half. It, felt like we had a couple chances to maybe take control. It didn't go that way, and it became very much back and forth down the stretch. And, we talked about it in a couple of the timeouts. It's like, who's going to make the winning plays down the stretch? And fortunately for us, it was our guys.
Well, Coach, I thought you guys executed at the end for sure. Walk us through the thought process on, fouling, not giving them a three, and then, of course, the play of your freshman Tannette being able to knock down those free throws.
Yeah, well, obviously Uriah hitting 2 huge free throws, to put us in position to make that decision, right? And, really proud of him. First start in college basketball against, an all SEC level guard. Yeah. So, big time free throws from him. And, the way that Hubbard was shooting the ball, his ability to create his own shot, we just felt like if we allowed that him, then, we're just letting him make or miss, and his ability to create separation and make difficult shots was something that we felt like, we could get our size out there, especially the way we'd been rebounding the ball, and we felt like pretty good on a miss despite their size, and thought our guys did a nice job of, just closing it out.
Speaking of rebounding, no Lobo freshman ever had as many as 21 rebounds in a game. Tomislav Buljan broke a record set by Kenny Thomas here tonight. I know he's an older freshman, but he's a first-year Division I college basketball player. That's an unbelievable effort for his third Lobo double-double.
Yeah, Tomislav was unbelievable tonight. Hit a big three late. You know, he made a ton of plays, and, you know, it was I thought that he really, you know, a lot of guys made plays, but his competitive spirit, his relentlessness, I thought was contagious for us, and, you know, just kept making plays and kept fighting and competing. So.
His motor, he continues to go. Out of a timeout, did you guys drop a play to get him the ball in the post, or it was just naturally it was open?
Yeah, so we were trying to get it to him. We were hoping to get him on the move. We kind of whiffed the screen, but we were trying to get him on the move where he could kind of catch it and dunk it or lay it in with angle. But we whiffed the screen, so it turned into a post touch, and he did a nice job of creating an angle and nice left-hand finish for him there.
You guys have been so balanced scoring the ball. It doesn't feel like you're relying upon any single player. And on a night where Jake Hall only gives you 6, you got 4 other guys in double figures. It does feel like offensively you're very versatile.
Yeah, I think we're balanced. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to have different guys leading us in scores, multiple guys in double figures. We're not built to just play through one person. You know, I think the way our team is constructed, we have a lot of good players. I think our depth is a strength. And, you know, it could be different guys any night. Obviously, Antonio Chol got off to a great start, and then they did a good job of kind of starting to limit him. And so we're always just trying to take what the defense gives us. We feel like, you know, when we execute, we have the answers, right? We're just trying to find the solutions to what the defense is doing, and then, you know, we'll take what they give us because we have a lot of guys who can make plays.
I wanted to ask because one of your biggest, if not your biggest concern when we spoke pregame was their ability to rebound the ball. And you guys end up dominating the glass, plus 10 overall, plus 5 on the offensive end. How'd you guys do it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes to show you what I know, right? Like I thought we would have an advantage on the turnovers, and then we would, you know, they had the potential for advantage on the glass.
They took really good care of the ball. In the first half, they only had 1 turnover.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to turn them over when they keep it in the two little guys' hands and they shoot a lot of self-created shots. Yeah. So those are good players, and we weren't able to create the disruption that we wanted, but fortunately for us, we found a different way to win and be successful on the glass. I think that's the sign of a good team, you know, which hopefully we're emerging into, and you know, we're not just one path to victory. Like, we got to find different ways to win, and so tonight was a really encouraging sign.
It had been quite some time since the Lobos had beaten an SEC team, Coach, 2008-2009. That's a nice little signature win here early on in an MTE against a team out of a Power 4 conference. Safe travels home. We'll see you back in the Burkett. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. You guys travel safe as well.
Thanks, Coach.
There he is, head coach Eric Olin. Post-game, the Lobos knock off Mississippi State. 80-78 is the final. How about UNM with the great balance, Hunter? 19 points, 21 rebounds for Bullion. 13 points apiece for Albury and Tanet. A dozen for Chol. New Mexico wins it by 2 over Mississippi State. And I just feel like any given moment, you didn't really know who was going to get you if you were Mississippi State. We knew that Bullion was going to clear the boards, but I feel like the Lobos are hard to guard because of their balance and versatility.
Well, I think Coach said it. I mean, they found a way to finish and get a W against, like you said, an SEC school, a back-to-back game, and then to close it out. So there were, I think, a lot of things, good takeaways from this trip. You know, I think, like Coach always talks about, it's a process. And I think you could see the growth. When your leading scorer doesn't score in double figures, as you said, you have 3 or 4 other guys that can score. So there were some takeaways and some learning, definitely. And then it's always fun to learn with a W.
Tell you what, if the first half of basketball in this tournament was not good, the last 3 are 3 of the best the Lobos have put together this season so far through 6 games. Would you agree?
No, I agree. I mean, they were able to execute and close out at the end, and that's a sign of a team that's, you know, kind of coming together. I mean, it's like, you know, there's no home run, but, you know, maybe they got a double on this trip.
Yeah, a gapper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got one to the wall.
Yeah.
I love it. Great analogy. Hunter, always fun. Look forward to seeing you back in the Burkett. Hopefully Lobo football comes home with a dub from Colorado Springs tomorrow. There you go. All right, that'll do it for us. Jonah Vaquera, our producer and engineer. Fantastic job. My broadcast partner, Lobo legend Hunter Green. I'm Robert Porter. New Mexico moves to 4-2, and they drop Mississippi State to 2-3. The Lobos win it 80-78. The final score in the Hall of Fame Classic in Kansas City. We'll talk to you tomorrow from the Springs. Lobo football looking for win number 8 against Air Force on the road on the UNM Sports Radio Network. That'll do it for us for tonight. Final score for the final time. New Mexico 80, Mississippi State 78. So long. You've been listening to Lobo Basketball on the UNM Sports Radio Network.